On in, everyone. Come on in because we are here for Married at First Sight. We're doing a recap review of Married at First Sight, season 18, episode 13. That's what we're doing. And they are calling this episode The Truth Always Come Out. Guess who came up with that tagline of this episode? My girl Carla. My girl Carla. But we are here going to be doing the episode for Married at First Sight, season 18, episode 13. I'm going to come back later and do another review of Married at First Sight, the after party, y'all. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it, and then I'm going to come back tomorrow and do a review of that. But we got so much to talk about, y'all. I don't know if I should laugh, cry, get mad, and yell at the screen. I don't know what I'm going to do. But I do know that I'm bringing back my chicken. I have to bring back my chicken this episode because we got some crazy, crazy stuff going on, y'all. I mean, be from lying David. And David is a horrible liar. David is a horrible liar. Madison is a horrible actress. They both can get this chicken. They both can get this chicken. And then we got EKG trying to come back and get in some good graces. Not really. He get the chicken too. EKG gets the chicken. And he up here taking to an ice cream date. Don't he know black people are lactose intolerant? Don't he know black people are lactose intolerant? Where's your backpack, Ike? You really want to be stuck in third grade. Ice cream shop, where is your backpack? Then we over here, I guess he want Eminem blown. Yes, I called her Eminem again. I sure did. You know what? And I'm not gonna beat myself up about it. Her mama shouldn't name her MM. Eminem was had it together though. She was looking sharp this whole episode. And I guess I said, let me feed you this ice cream so you can be blowing up the bathroom like Juan does. But you know what? I'm not gonna give Juan the chicken. I know y'all think I'm gonna give the chicken, and you know I ain't gonna give my girl Carla the chicken, even though Carla ain't over there doing nothing, still ain't doing nothing, darn near blowing up the house. But I still ain't gonna give her the chicken either. But I'm gonna give the chicken to that tantra sex lady. What the hell, lady? What the hell did you have on coming up in there? I know that Juan might have thought that he always wanted a menage a trois, but I don't think that was the menage a trois he was looking for. Because that right there, let me tell you something. That was wrong. That was real wrong. And then we got my girl, Camille over here. You know she getting the chicken. She is getting the chicken, y'all. She is getting the chicken because she's over here jumping on her man like she is a sumo wrestler. And I don't know what's wrong with Camille, y'all. Something's wrong with Camille. We're going to talk about her a little bit more, too. And then who did I miss? Who did I miss? I think I got everybody covered. I think I got everybody covered in terms of the highlights of who we're going to have to talk about going forward. We're going to talk about Madison and Alan, of course. We know Madison, like I said, bad actress. Bad actress, Madison. You guilty. You and David are guilty. Y'all are liars. David is the worst liar. She's over here gaslighting. Alan. I told y'all, people, you better start crying. Don't be showing no anger. Start crying. She had Alan over here apologizing to her, and she the one cheating. Woo, give us strength. Give us strength. But before we get all the way in it, I'm going to play my little intro. And while I play my intro, I want y'all to like this video. I want y'all to subscribe to my channel. And I want you to get ready to let me know what you're going to say down in the comments, because I'm going to need you to comment on this video too. So go ahead, as I play this intro, be sure to like it and subscribe it. And I see you on the other side of the intro. Well, let's get started. We first going to start with Ike Remember Ike was talking about how woke he is, and like I said, why if he's so woke, why he taking a black woman to get some ice cream? I don't like Ike. Never have, never will. Never liked them, never have. You ever have a friend who get divorced or break up with a guy and you like, girl, I'm breaking up with, I don't know, Victor. And you be like, good girl, because I never liked him and never will. That's how I am with Ike. Ike is, let me tell you, Ike can be gone and don't want nobody miss him. No one will miss him. But you know what? When he showed up to this not even restaurant, this ice cream shop, MM didn't even look up. She like, I'm so done with this man. She didn't give him no hug. She didn't even look up from picking out her ice cream. She too busy trying to figure out which one ain't gonna make her be on the toilet for the whole night. And she barely looked up and even looked at Ike. And Ike said, you know what? I love this little ice cream date because I just, it takes me back to my childhood. He didn't say that, but that's what I'm thinking. It goes back to when he was innocent, before anybody did anything to him. He's like, let me go back to my childhood days when I used, life was easy and all you did was eat ice cream. And he said, I just want you to be present in this date, in this moment. It ain't present in the date, Ike. It's present back in when you was 6 months years old. That's really where you're taking us. You keep taking us back, Ike, to before all your trauma happened. And really, we don't need to go back there, Ike. You need to go back there. But okay. And MM said, she's not used to being present. We know that's right, MM. Girl. I'm telling you, you know what? I like MM. I really do like MM. She really got it going on. And I got a lot of good things to say about MM, but I'm going to keep telling MM, girl. But when she said she don't know how to be present, I was like, girl, you ain't never lied. You always so busy looking down the line of the future. Because like I tell you, MM got all her steps ordered. You know how they say the Lord orders your steps? MM got all her steps ordered. That's why she can be present in the present time, because she's always 10 steps ahead of everybody. MM got it going on. She really does have it on. I know everybody's wondering why she be putting up with all this stuff with Ike, why she even sitting here right now, at this ice cream shop, eating chocolate, vanilla, pralines and cream, cookies and cream, pistachio, nut, whatever she doing, whatever she eating. I know people are wondering, why did she even show up? And I know people are saying it's for the check. Maybe it is, because I'm sure everybody like to get paid. But you know what it really is? You know what I really think it is with MM is MM just don't like to fail. She not a quitter. What's the saying? Quitters never win, winners never quit. MM lived by a whole different mantra, probably different than most of you and I. She a hard worker. I'm not gonna lie, she a hard worker, and I'm gonna tell you this: when she does get remarried, which I'm sure one day she will, that's gonna be a lucky man. He's gonna be a lucky man, because one thing you know about MM is she gonna work hard. She gonna work hard. I mean, if she's working this hard in a marriage with Ike, who talk about he's so woke, but he take her to get ice cream. I mean, she gonna work really hard for a man she loves. So that's why she's told Ike, this dating thing, I know Ike wants to date me even though we married, and this feels like a step back. That's what it feels like to MM, because MM likes to achieve. Achievement is going forward. Achievement is going back. MM is sitting over here talking about, Ike, you taking us back to first grade. It's like we flunking. We done flunked marriage and we got to go back to dating. That's what MM looks like. We flunking. You taking us back a grade. We had to get held back. Shoot, maybe I got held back already. Ike is already held back. Ike is already held back, MM. I keep trying to tell you. So this idea of going back to dating prior to being married, it ain't nothing new to him. It is not nothing new to him. And Ike is still talking about, well, what do you value? MM looked at him talking about, what do I value? You know what I value? I value being supported. I value being treated with respect and dignity. Tell him, girl. Tell him what you value. And then what does Ike say he values? He said he valued going back to homecoming, seeing his niece and family. Another dig. But you know what? that's fine, because then MM came right back and said, ooh, you going back to see your mama? That's good. I would love to see your mama. She don't want to see that mama. Come on, MM. You know you don't want to see that mama. You just girl right now over here. You just like you want to joust. You want to joust, Ike? Here I am. I can get in the ring with the best of them. So then Ike tells her, while I'm gone, if you want me to, I'll text you. I would have been like, don't bother. Don't bother. Even though your texts are free, save them. Don't even spend no free text on me. Keep them. So he decides he's going to bring some playing cards, blackjack, to the ice cream shop. What kind of sense does this make? What kind of sense does it make to bring some playing cards to the ice cream shop? He probably wanted to bring some blocks and some cards. I keep telling you, games and ice cream, Ike, this is where we're going back. What grade does Ike teach in the schools? Because he's acting like this is some type of field trip to the ice cream shop, and he done brought 10-year-olds here. I'm going to play cards, and all you got to do is figure out how to get 21. This is going to teach you how to count. That's what you play with your kids when you're trying to teach them how to get their math skills up. Blackjack. Come on now. But MM, she can't let it rest. MM is going to observe everything. I tell you, she going to notice everything. So MM, what you really going to have to work on, MM, is not always saying everything, because you're not going to be able to stop seeing it because you got a sharp eye. I'm telling you, MM is so sharp. So she noticed, of course, that Ike didn't have on his ring. She could have noticed it, but you know what? She shouldn't have even said nothing, because if he ain't got it on, what's the point of confronting him over it? All it's going to do is cause a kerfuffle. It ain't going to get you nowhere. That's what I'm saying. People think I'm saying, oh, why should she diminish herself? Nah, I'm just saying, when you don't get nothing from it, why I need to confront you? See, I grew up in LA. In LA, there's prices to be paid for confronting people. If you confront a gang member, if you confront a person spraying paint in a wall, graffiti in a wall, you could get shot. You could get shanked. People in LA, we done learned. Keep your nose out of people's business. And you know what? The reason Ike ain't got that ring on, that's his business. Because you know what? We really not married anyway. Because according to what y'all doing right now, y'all is dating again. So who cares if he ain't got that doggone ring on? Next thing you know, she at home. She at home saying, because she can't get no peace in that house. She said, shoot, if Ike is leaving and going back to Houston, then she can go on and go back to her house across town on Chicago's north side. Isn't that the good side of town, north side? Is that where she lived? The Loop, the South Loop, the North Loop? I don't know. I just know that Chicago got all these neighborhoods, South Loop, North Side, around the lake level. But she went back. She said, let me go back here and lay up in my king size bed with my plush seats and my satin pillowcases and my 5 TVs. And I can run around and go back to Houston to his HBCU homecoming. Oh, my goodness. Next thing you know, we have MM on the phone talking to Dr. Pia. And MM updates Dr. P and said, nah, girl, shoot, the last time we talked, he talked about he was going to text or call me, and I ain't heard from him since. And then you have Dr. P over here once again with that badass advice. I'm going to give you the chicken too, Dr. Pia. I'm giving you the chicken because a couple of times this episode, you getting the chicken. So you getting the chicken right here and now. Right here and now, Dr. P, I'm giving you the chicken because once again, you giving MM some bad advice. Do you have any inclination or any desire to reach out to Ike and say hi or see how he's doing or check on him? No. And if she does have the inclination, I would say don't do it. Don't have MM call me for no personal coaching advice. Y'all know I do personal coaching advice. If she were to call me, I would tell her right now, girl, if you were getting the urge, the inclination to call Ike, you'd be better off eating some ice cream and make you sit on the toilet and then you'll forget about it. That would be my advice. It would not be to call him. But luckily, MM is now operating with all her faculties. And she said, nope, nope, Dr. Pia, that's not good advice because I am not mentally prepared for what's going to come after I do that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And she said to Dr. Pia that basically he has stonewalled her. He's blocked himself off from her. And she did say she was still hoping that there's a brighter future side to all this. I was like, girl, give it up, give it up, give it up. But like I said, I think the only reason MM is really sticking in here, I don't think it has anything to do with, of course, she don't love the man. She don't even like the man. I think what she has looked at is divorce is a failure. And what she's trying to do is she's trying to not necessarily save her relationship with Ike because she likes Ike. She's actually just trying to save herself from being a failure. This is really just about, once again, MM's perfectionism and not being able to fail. She doesn't like to make mistakes. So I bet she's really good at what she does. I bet she's really good. If I'm ever back in Chicago, MM, I'm going to look up your shop and I'm going to come get me some Restylane, get these smile lines filled in right here. I'm starting to get older. I think I want to get some filler right up in here too. I'm going to do that too. And I'm going to fly out to Chicago and I'm going to sign up to MM shop. And if I do it, I'm going to say, come on, MM, get on FaceTime with me. And because I know MM does not like to fail, and because I know she is a perfectionist, she going to make me look perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. But what's the opposite of perfect? Well, the opposite of perfect is imperfect. And if we're going to talk about who's imperfect but thinks she's perfect, we got to talk about our girl, Camille. Come on, Camille. Come on, Camille. Really, Camille? I mean, y'all, this whole season with Camille has been about Camille's thinking she's one person and she's not. She thinks she's so above Thomas and she's not. This episode, once again, we find out that Camille has elevated herself above Thomas as if she's a much better person in the bedroom. She takes more risk in the bedroom. She's a sex vixen in the bedroom. And then we find out that Camille ain't even slobbing the knob. Give me strength. Give me strength. Are you kidding me? Camille running around here. Every time Camille elevates herself over someone, you just start to realize, girl, not only are you not at this point of elevation, you're below the other person. So Camille, you doing less adventurous things in the bedroom than even Thomas is. What the heck are you talking about, Camille? I'm so done with Camille. I think wherever Thomas and Camille live, they need to put up mirrors all around the house. They need to record Camille 24/7 so that Camille can see herself. She can look back on her behavior so she can really see that she's not who she thinks she is. She is not who the hell she thinks she is. No wonder all those bad boys and thugs and everybody that Camille said she used to go out with dropped her. Because let me tell you something. If you're going to be with a thug and a bad boy, girl, you're going to need to learn how to slob the knob. And then she said the reason she don't do it because she need to get to know a person. Girl, go sit down, Camille. Camille, go sit down with your two-piece. That's another reason she getting a chicken. I'm so tired of Camille dressing in these matching two pieces. Every time Camille goes out, she don't really coordinate no outfit like, accessorize. She does a two-piece. It'd be the exact same, green on green, brown on brown, black on black. It's always a set like Animals. Y'all remember Animals back in the day? I know I'm dating myself. It's always a two-piece. Camille really got on my nerves this episode. She really, really did, y'all. But anyway, they start off with Camille and Thomas doing another massage. And Camille is talking about, Thomas, he's so nice and he's such a gentleman. But, we need to spice up this bedroom. Our sex needs some spicing up. So next thing you know, Camille is jumping on the bed talking about, it's about to get crazy up in here, crazy up in here. And then she jumps on this man's back, darn near cracks his back with all that weight. Camille, you not Carla. Now, I'm not saying you overweight, but you not Carla. You done jumped on this man's back. He already got bruises all over his legs. What the hell is Camille doing to Thomas? We need to do a wellness check. When I go to Chicago to get my wrestling, like I told you I'm going to get from MM, I'm going to have to stop by Thomas's and Camille's house, and I'm going to have to do a wellness check. And I'm going to tell Thomas to strip down because all them bruises on his body, good Lord, what is going on? And then she run over here telling the man, don't be a little bitch. Don't be a little bitch. Thomas, at that time, Thomas should have turned around and slapped her. That's what he should have done. And then she said, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you liked rough sex. That's what he should have done. He should have turned around and he should have bitch slapped her. He should have bitch slapped her. She was like, well, I'm sorry. Let me go back into my nice wife mode. Girl, when was you ever in nice wife mode? I don't even know, Camille, when you've ever even been nice to Thomas. I actually have never seen it. She over here laughing, talking about, well, if you be on your best behavior, Thomas, then you know what? I won't have to be this way. I know she's trying to joke around, but you just told me that the man was super nice. Now, I know she's trying to think, well, maybe if I show him what I like, that I like all this rough sex with my hair pulled and my booty spanked and all this, then maybe Thomas will do it too. No. Because we just realized that she's not none of that. None of it. When Camille was running around and being parentified, like, what's her name? Dr. Pepper told us that Camille was parentified. She was so busy bossing people around. So she was some hell of a sister bossing her siblings around. They probably don't even like her to this day, barely. They probably barely like her now because it looks like Camille loves to be the macho man in any relationship. Because, as I think about Camille talking about she was parentified when she was younger, who told her she had to be the parent? Who told her she had to be the parent? Because I'm starting to really believe that Camille just likes to be the leader, because as much as she keeps telling Thomas that she wants Thomas to lead, any chance she gets, she takes the lead. She don't even wait for Thomas to take the lead. She jumps right in there. Maybe she want to be parentified. She want to be the mama. She want to boss Thomas around. Well, she's a mean ass mama. So now you get an idea what she going to be to your kids. She going to be mean because Camille likes to boss people around. And no wonder she didn't work out with no thugs. No wonder she didn't work out with no bad boys, no thugs. Maybe Camille thinks she's the person out here that's supposed to get everybody in line. And she went around looking for bad boys, trying to straighten them up. And they said, hell to the no, girl. You're not straightening me up. And you can't straighten me up anyway because you don't even slob the knob. Bye, Camille. Go sit down and don't be jumping on nobody's back no more. But next thing you know, they got to have this session with Dr. Pia. And Dr. Pia comes over and talks to them. She got on her two-piece again. Dr. Pia says, are y'all still having sex? Hopefully you still having sex. And before Thomas can even talk, there go Camille jumping in. Yeah, we having sex. Girl, sit back and relax. But she don't know how to sit back and relax. And, she's over here about, well, I would love it more if Thomas initiates. And then she finally admits, well, it really isn't her nature to lead. Exactly. So stop trying to act like the reason Thomas isn't leading is because he don't know how to lead. The reason Thomas isn't leading is because one is you haven't given him an opportunity. And the minute a person asks a question, anything, you the first person to jump in and answer the question. Y'all know who Camille is reminding me of. I know a lot of y'all did reviews with me with Tia Mowry and her husband, Corey. This marriage right here is reminding me of Tia Mowry and Corey Hardrick. It is a person, a woman who likes to dominate the marriage so much, but then later on resents the husband for taking a back seat. This is what this is shaping up to be. That when you always have to take the lead, everything has to be about you. You always have to be the forefront of everything. Then when you start to burn out, now all of a sudden you try to blame your partner because you burnt out. No, it's because you don't know how to regulate yourself. That's what it is. Your partner is not responsible for regulating you. You're supposed to regulate yourself. And so when Camille sits over here talks about how Thomas doesn't know how to take the lead, no, that's not the problem. The problem is you don't know how to take a back seat. You don't know how to stop, you see. And so she starts talking about she wants Thomas to take the lead, but she don't know how to put her masculine side and have it sit down because her father nurtured it. This is what happens when a father nurtures the daughter's masculine side all the time. All you ladies out there with daughters, make sure you check your husbands if your husband's got your daughters in too much competitive sports so that your daughter gonna end up being like Camille. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. The next thing you know, we start to find out that Thomas says, well, one thing I take the lead on, Camille, is I am a leader in the bedroom because I'm the only one over here giving to you all kind of ways. So much so that not only do my back hurt from you jumping on it, my neck hurts too. My neck hurts too. It looks like Thomas did what David was talking about when he says, you look so damn fine, I just want to eat you up. Well, Thomas did it. Thomas ate it up. Thomas said, I've been eating it up a lot. And I ain't getting shit in return. Not one damn thing in return. And you know why? Camille don't want to slob the knob in return? Because it's also an act of submission. She don't want to get on her knees. She don't want to get on her knees. She don't want to be in a submissive place because I'm telling you, Camille likes to be in charge, and being on her knees is a submissive position, and she don't want to feel the submission to Thomas. She act like Thomas don't want to be the leader. Nah, girl, you don't want to submit. That's why. And so that's why she always went after these probably alpha men or whoever want, because like I tell you, women who always want to be in the lead, what they need is a man who's even more masculine than them so that those men can try to tame them. No, people are not responsible for taming all this masculine energy. Tame yourself, Camille. Get on your knees, girl. Now, if Dr. Pia wanted to give some advice on how to tame all this masculine energy, what she would have told Camille is get on your knees. Get on your knees if you really want to beat that spirit down. I told y'all I ain't no real counselor, but this is my counseling session advice. I mean, it was so bad that y'all, when Dr. Pia sent them the gift basket to spice up the bedroom, and she had the blindfolds and she had the ropes and stuff, do you really think Dr. Pia meant that Camille should be tying up Thomas? No, it was meant to tie her up. Thomas should have never been tied up. Never. But what did we see? We saw Camille right away taking the whips, taking the ropes, taking the blindfolds, putting shit in his mouth. Girl, wasn't your pee thing enough being in his mouth? Now you putting avocados or whatever else in his mouth, telling him to shut up. What's wrong with her? What is wrong with her? She told me, I know this is not funny, but he's such a good sport. Well, how is he a good sport when you just told him you want him to be more masculine? Oh, he's such a great sport. And, I just want to let him know what I'm capable of. Girl, know that. He don't need to know that you're capable of that. He already know that. We already know, Camille, that you capable of running up and down the court, being a basketball star, telling people what to do, cussing people out, telling them to shut up and stop being a bitch. We already know that. Camille, what we waiting on for you to do is to be soft and sweet and wear something other than a two-piece. That is what we all are waiting on, Camille. When you show us that, that's when we're going to be happy. But all this right here, girl, you getting the chicken. You are getting the chicken. And as we move on over here to our next couple, Carla and Juan, like I said, I'm going to have to give that tantric sex instructor the chicken. Carla, the minute she walked through the door, you should have shut the door and sent her away because this woman came over here half naked. How old is she? How old is this woman? If we thought this was going to get Juan to get his little thing going, let me tell you, That thing went down. It got tucked. It's all the way in the back now. There ain't no way that thing is sticking up and sticking out. That thing is down, tucked, and in the back. This was the worst. This was the worst thing that could help your sex life because. And the other thing, why was that woman participating in rubbing the rose over Juan? This is supposed to be instruction. You're not supposed to be participating. This ain't no threesome, lady. She act like she was coming dressed for a threesome. But before she even got there, Juan was over here basically telling Carla once again, are you going to help me get ready for the guests that are coming? Are you going to put some cantaloupe or some oranges or some apples or something on the plate, like some hors d'oeuvres? Carla said, no, let me run around over here and burn some more sage and darn near burn down the house. Carla, girl, you know you my girl, Carla, you know my girl. But yeah, you are gonna have to do a little bit more. I ain't gonna lie. Girl, I love you. Let me tell you, girl, I love you, but when you love people, you also got to give them a little bit of tough advice. And I know, Carla, that you are probably see the handwriting on the wall with Juan, but girl, you're gonna have to do something. I mean, Juan is over here pouring you coffee, making you coffee. You like, yeah, don't put no milk in there. Carla said, well, if you don't cut, Juan, you the one that said I can't go get my $15 juices. So since I can't go get my $15 juices, I guess you're going to be making me juices here at the house and you're going to be making me some gourmet coffee. But they over here waiting to meet Dr. Pia. Dr. Pia shows up to meet Carla and Juan. And Juan is saying how happy he was to meet the in-laws, and he just can't stop talking about the food that Carla's mom cooked, because basically what he's saying is Carla ain't cooked a damn thing since we've been married. Juan said that food was so good, we were eating leftovers for days, Dr. Pierre. Dr. Pierre, do you hear what I'm saying when Juan says we was eating leftovers for days? That's how long Carla don't cook. Carla ain't cooked for months. For months. We got the hint, Juan. We got the hint. And we going to get you together, Carla. Carla. As much as I don't like lots of things about Juan, girl, you better go learn how to make something. Carne asada, something, some frijoles, some arroz, some pico de gallo. Learn how to make something. I'm not saying you got to make homemade tortillas. Something, girl. Go learn how to say something. But then Dr. Pia comes on up in there and starts saying, you know, Carla, I done watched your social media. I saw you on that Instagram. And girl, you was all humping on this man with your tongue hanging out. You was humping on this man. And Dr. Pia says, Juan, does that bother you? Juan was like, no, I don't care. In fact, Juan said, if I knew that man the way Carla knew that man, I might be humping on him too. Juan, I know I've been giving out the chicken this episode, but Juan, do I need to give you a pickle or an eggplant? Because this is the second time I done heard you talk about men in a way that is way more lovingly than you even talk about your wife. I mean, last time he was talking about David. What did he talk about David when he had that conversation? He had such a great time with David. He completely forgot about Carla. And now he's over here talking about if he knew this man the way Carla knew this man, he'd be humping on him too. I don't know if he was trying to say that Carla's friend is, you know, of the LGBTQ community. So maybe I think that's what he was saying was that, you know, he shouldn't feel threatened by him. But then again, he said that might make him even more want to do it. Juan, I know you was in the modeling world. So who knows, Juan? Maybe I need to run out there and get me a pickle and give you the pickle of the eggplant. I'm starting to wonder, Juan. I'm really starting to wonder. But Juan don't care. He does not care. He said he would hump that man if he could. But Dr. P is saying, where's all this carefree sexual spirit? Both of you got, so Juan over here wanting to hump a man, you know, fall in love with David. And Carla's over here with her carefree sexual spirit. And you know, Dr. P is like, well, I don't understand why you guys ain't bringing that to your marriage. And Carla said, well, I'm ready. I am ready. And that's when Dr. P comes up with the idea of the tantric sex yoga session so that everybody can get on a more deeper emotional level. We can gaze in each other's eyes. We can synchronize our breathing. Let me tell you, that synchronizing your breathing works. I'm telling y'all, I've done it several times with my husband, and it really, really, really works. And let me tell you another time it really, really works. It really, really works after you've had an argument, because what it does is when you have an argument, arguments kind of pull you apart. And so you need this time when you'll come back together. And sometimes coming back together can sometimes be different things. So one of the techniques that can bring you back together after an argument, one is physical touch. You can hold hands, or you can, the breathing. The breathing helps you come back together. So if you're a person who sometimes takes you a while to get over stuff, like you be getting mad and you be holding grudges, but you really don't want to talk to the person, I don't know, practice some of these breathing techniques. It might help you out. See, there go another tip. But Carla's over, Juan's over here making Carla a bunch of coffee and everything. And Carla said, don't put too much milk in it because I'm going to be on the toilet if you do that. And Juan said, what's wrong with that? And Carla said, I know ain't nothing wrong with it because you be blowing it up. You be blowing it up. Carla then tells us that she has held her poop until Juan leaves. Girl, what? Y'all been married 8 weeks. So she's like, she done held her poop until Juan leaves. So Juan been wondering why Carla lays in the bed till 1 o'clock and waits for him to get up and leave the house, because she waiting up to go take a shit. Juan was like, Carla be in bed all day. When I get back, she just getting out of bed. No. She ain't just getting out of bed. She was out of bed earlier. She was on the toilet. She was doing something. She was working, getting all that poop out of her. Carla's so excited about this whole tantric sex thing that she darn near set the house on fire. And when that woman finally came in the house, she should have set that woman on fire, because that woman was half naked. She was half naked, y'all. It was a mess. It was a complete mess. And it's so funny that when they were getting ready for all these tantric sex positions and they were practicing these yoga positions, did you notice that all the positions that Juan wanted to practice were ones in which he didn't even have to look at Carla? His back was to Carla. He didn't really have to embrace Carla or touch Carla. Did y'all notice that? This is why you know with Juan is way more than, oh, because Carla doesn't work or Carla doesn't have any money. There's a lot more going on with Juan, because Juan doesn't even want to barely look at Carla. He wants to treat Carla as if she's, I don't even want to say it's like a friend, because to be honest with you, some of this stuff, you could touch a friend, you could look a friend in the eye, you could hold a friend's hands. Juan is very uncomfortable with intimacy, period. All those exercises that we're doing before the lady came, their backs to each other, they weren't even looking at each other. Juan got other issues. He got a lot. There's so many people this episode that need a therapist, a real one. I can't help them because I ain't no real therapist. Them problems is too deep for me. Too deep. But Juan thought he was going to get a menage a trois. And he got, and instead, Rita Perlman showed up. Y'all remember who Rita Perlman? Y'all remember Rita Perlman? She done shown up to the tantric sex. And it was awkward. This was awkward to look at. Juan was very awkward. He was laughing because he was awkward. He was being silly. And like Carla said, he's being playful, but he's not serious. He's trying to keep it playful and not serious because he's really, really uncomfortable. It wasn't sensual. He don't want sensuality anyway, but it wasn't sensual because let me tell you, that woman rubbing that rose on him along with Carla was not sexy. Like I said, his pink thing was not here where you want it. It was here and it was tucked and it was all the way in the back. That's where it was. That's where it was. And that's where it stayed. But the one thing I can count on my Carla for this episode was, boy, did Carla come through with the facial expressions when it came to this lying story between liar, pants on fire, David. She should have brought her sage and put them pants on fire because David is a liar. And Madison over here has so much guilt. She has so much guilt for what she's done. She ain't willing to stop. She definitely ain't willing to stop riding she ain't willing to stop riding a David's dingaling, but she feel guilty about it because that's what was eating her up inside. But let me tell you, when they got ready to go to this little girls event, and Carla says, oh, we're going to do a sound bath for all you ladies. Carla said, it's a full moon and we need to release all of this negative energy. Well, girl, you're going to need more than a sound bath. You're going to need a swimming pool. If a sound bath is this little, you're going to need a whole sound swimming pool to get rid of all the negative energy that these ladies is bringing into the room, because the negative energy of EKG, the negative energy of Madison, the negative energy of David, you're going to need a sound swimming pool, Carla. So girl, they going to need you to do some of your best work ever. And she said, I want y'all to be aware of what's on your insides, and I want you to release your emotions. They don't want to be aware of their insides, Carla. This is what I've been saying. They don't want to release all this childhood trauma that's on their insides. They want to put it in a backpack. That backpack Ike's been carrying around. That's where he got all his childhood trauma, in that backpack. And everybody want to carry it around, all their childhood trauma, all their negative emotions. Carla's over here. I want your thoughts to vibrate high and release everything that does not serve you. Nope, they ain't going high, they going low. And the only thing that's about to get released is Madison's about to release Alan. That's the only thing that's about to get released. Madison says, I'm gonna release something, okay, but I'm gonna release Alan so I can go over here and be with David. That's when MN, breaks the news to the lady saying, Ike moved out. He ain't coming back. He don't want this marriage. He all the way in Houston, at homecoming, trying to come back as a band director. That's what Ike really wants. Ike really wants to be the band director at a HBCU. That's what he really wants to do. He want to be the band director at a HBCU so that he probably can still date women who are mentally 21 years old, because that's where Ike is. That's probably what he really want to do. That's really his dream job. If he can't be on the road touring with fancy musicians, the next best thing he can do is be the band director at a HBCU. So he probably went back to Houston to interview for a job. But MN said, that's her husband. That's her husband. And she really trying to work it out. And she talking about, he want to date me again, but that feels like going backwards. She's like, I ain't trying to flunk. I ain't trying to be left behind. And then next, this is when Michelle drops the news on the ladies that I got an interesting text from David that said, you look so damn fine. I want to eat you up. And I was like, quick, put the camera on Madison, because I want to see her facial expression when Michelle brought it up, because we already know David done told Michelle that I accidentally sent the text to Michelle. I wanted to see Madison's facial expression, and she over there with that fake laugh. Girl. But as much as Carla don't cook, as much as Carla don't clean, as much as Carla says she really only want to work part-time, as much as Carla holds in all her poop, Carla came through one more time, because when they started talking about the last time I saw David, he was helping you look for your phone. There you go. And now y'all can see what happens when you lost your phone and somebody says, hey, I lost my phone. Will you help me find it? What's the first thing people start doing? That's fine. Let me call your phone. Let me call your phone and see if it'll ring. So, that's what David was doing. David was calling her phone. And at the same time that he was calling her phone, he also then decides to send her a text at the same exact time. So that way, when she does find her phone, she'll see this wonderful text waiting from David saying, "You look so damn fine. I want to eat you up." And let me tell you, he sent that text on that night in front of Alan. And more than likely, they found that phone back in the corner in the bathroom in stall number 3. They found that damn phone. They found that damn phone in the bathroom in the dark in stall number 3. And it was Carla who said, "The last time I saw you and David, y'all was running around looking for your phone." Carla's look said it all. Carla knows. I told y'all from the very beginning, and none of y'all wanted to listen to me. Only a few. There's a few Carla fans out here. None of you wanted to listen when I said Carla is the most intuitive, not only about herself, but about everybody else on this show. She knows how to read these people. She knows what's going on. And she was the one who honed in sooner than anybody else on this show about David and Madison. She saw it from the very beginning. And that look she had on her face, I tell you. Then what was so interesting was that when Michelle is talking about the fact of her problems with David, who decides that they're going to be the one to give Michelle some advice? So you up here sleeping with this man's husband. Let me get this right. You up here sleeping with this man's husband. And then what you decide to do is when she's talking about their difficulties, you decide to step in and give her some advice and tell Michelle that maybe she should bring out the more softer side of her, and not make him feel like a piece of shit so much. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So the mistress is not only making her own husband feel like a piece of shit, she's then going to the other man's wife and telling that wife, you need to stop making your man feel like a piece of shit. Because what Madison is really doing is she's guilty. And what she's trying to say is, it's not my fault I'm sleeping with your man. It's your fault. If you would have treated your man nicer and be nicer to him, then he wouldn't have been running over here to me. See, Madison not gonna want to own all this infidelity as she's doing, because it is infidelity because they're married. She's not gonna want to own it. She's gonna want to blame somebody else for it. And when she sat up there and told Michelle that maybe she ought to treat her husband nicer and not make him feel like a piece of shit, when that's all she does every single day over there to Alan, I said, this girl is a piece of shit. What the hell is she talking about? All that shit Carla gets stopped up in her and don't let it come out. All that shit that Ike is trying to make do on the toilet from eating ice cream. All that shit is Madison. She's the piece of shit. And you know who else knows that Madison is a piece of shit? Loopy. Loopy the dog. Loopy, Lucy, whatever that dog's name is, because that dog is bad as hell. That dog has known from day one that Madison has been sleeping with David. You know how that dog knew? I know y'all gonna call me crazy. But if you go back to what Madison complained about Loopy was always running over to the panties of Madison and sniffing the panties and all in her panties. You know why? Because Loopy smelled another man in that house. She smelled that dog, that is a boy, I believe, smelled another man in her panties. And Loopy was all this time trying to tell Alan, there's another man sleeping with your wife. Loopy, we might think Loopy is crazy. We might think that dog is bad. He's always barking at Madison. He's always pestering Madison, because the person who knew from the very beginning that she was cheating was Loopy. It was Loopy. He smelled all that cum and everything in Madison's panties, and he'd been trying to tell Alan all this time. And you know what? I ain't mad at Loopy no more. I used to be like, that dog is bad. He needs some home training. But who knew all this time that Loopy was trying to warn Alan, really trying to warn Alan? And when Dr. Pia came and started talking to Madison and Alan, even Dr. Pia knew that Madison is a piece of shit. Because the look that Dr. Pia had for Madison was like, girl, you's a liar. You's a liar. You is a real big old liar. And the reason why I know Dr. Pia knew that she was lying, because all her questions started talking about, where's the trust? Where is the trust? That's what she tried to work on them with. She called it trust and intimacy. But she says, I want to know where your feelings are. And all of a sudden, here goes gaslighting Madison, taking the conversation off of intimacy and trust. And all of a sudden, Madison goes back and says, the reason why I really don't like David is because, like I told y'all before, he can't hold his liquor. And I've been trying to get him to limit himself to 2 drinks. Do we think that David limits himself to 2 drinks? No, we don't. We don't think so. And she keeps trying to classify David she keeps trying to classify Alan as if Alan is some type of alcoholic, right? If you hear the picture that Madison is continually painting about Alan, it's as if he can't hold his liquor, he can't have more than 2 drinks. Well, every time we see Alan drinking with Madison in the house, because she loves to drink, she popping a bottle of wine, champagne, or something every single scene. I have not seen Alan get too out of pocket. Not too out of pocket. But every time I turn around, here we have Madison over here talking about she's triggered over Alan's drinking. I keep telling you, this triggering over Madison and with this drinking goes back to her mama. And Madison thinks she ain't like her mama, but she a lot like her mama. She is a lot like her mama. She over here lying, talking about she open to foreplay. Girl, you not open to no foreplay because you not open to what comes after foreplay. And Dr. Pia knows she lying. Everybody knows Madison is lying at this point. Loopy definitely knows that Madison is lying. They get this little gift box from Dr. P, and one of the questions is, do you like dirty talk? Do you like dirty talk? Alan said, I don't really like dirty talk. That's okay, Alan, because you know who likes dirty talk? David, and he's giving it to her. He's giving it to her. You look so damn fine, I want to eat you up. Let me tell you, he's giving her all the dirty talk that you don't want to do, Alan. Every single bit of it. And Madison's over here talking about she likes whips and chains, and she don't mind, biting on some fruit and some chocolate. And Alan's over here, I think sex is a stress reliever. And, what's your favorite position? And Madison says on top. I mean, come on now. We would have guessed that. I know that's Camille's favorite too, on top. The only time Camille likes to be on top. She probably sit on Thomas's face. She probably don't even lay on her back. She sit on Thomas's face. That's probably what Camille does. But next thing you know, that's when the conversation went left, because Alan was saying, I really judged you wrong, at Madison. I really judged you wrong. I thought you was a party girl in the club with your ass up. And next thing you know, Madison decides to turn this around to be that Alan's mean. First of all, Madison, let's get you straight. Alan said, you know what? Hey, I read you wrong. I was thinking you're more like a superficial person and you're more transactional. You didn't read her wrong, Alan. You did not read her wrong. You read her correctly. You read her correctly. It's this fake Madison that's trying to draw you off the scent. You see, Madison and David are lying so much that what they do is they create another lie to cover up the original lie. You see, Madison's lie is that she's cheating. She's cheating, and that she is very non-emotional, non-empathetic, because if she had any empathy, sympathy, any level of respect for Alan, she would have kept her legs closed to that married man, David, until after the show. I don't have no problem with them being together, but she would have had enough respect for Alan to keep her legs closed for 8 weeks. You can't keep your legs closed for 8 weeks. And please don't tell me, Madison, that you guys were drinking and got drunk, and so then you had drunk sex. Don't come up there. As much as you've been talking about Alan and that he can't hold his liquor and that you don't like the way he acts after he's been drinking, please don't tell me that you too acted out after drinking and you couldn't keep your legs closed. Madison's going to have a big problem. There's not going to be no excuse she could come up with. Not one. But Alan tried to say, maybe you're more passionate than I thought. No, she's not, Alan. That's the cover up. She really is transactional. She really is not as emotionally in touch as you think she is. The difference is that now what she's doing is she's trying to be more of this other person to cover up who she really is. That's what you do. You overcompensate on the other end when you really a whole nother different person. That's why you got to be careful of love bombers when you dating out there, dating a man who's love bombing you in the beginning, because really what they're doing is they're trying to love bomb you with so much of what they're really not, and it don't last because they're trying to cover up what they really are. And Madison's over here trying to act like she cares so much about Alan and his health and this and that he works out and that, he doesn't drink and drive and all this other kind of stuff. She don't care. You got it right the first time, Alan. She's a party girl. She likes to be in the club with her ass up. You was right. Who cares if you darn near called her a whore? Because you know what? You weren't the first person who did it. The first person who told us about it was her daddy. Her daddy. I would be horrified if when my father met my husband for the first time, the first thing he told my husband was, do you have an STD test? Now, a lot of people might say, well, maybe he was saying that about Alan. No. What he's saying about is my daughter's reckless. My daughter is reckless when it comes to sleeping around with men. And so I want to make sure you're clean because my daughter is reckless. You see, this is what I'm talking about. The truth. What's the name of this show? The Truth Comes Out. So when Madison wants to run around and talk about how she's hurt, her feelings are hurt because she's triggered from back in the day when women judged her or people judged her for her looks. Madison, you're not even all that good looking, girl. You act like you a 10. You told us that girls bullied you because of your looks. Are you trying to tell us that people bully you because you were good looking? I don't believe it. I don't believe it, Madison. I don't believe it. You was not no supermodel. You was, unless you grew up in a dog kennel and the dogs was jealous of you, Madison, you was not all that. I don't believe it. You yourself told us you didn't even fit in with the crowd when you were younger, that girls picked on you. That's why you got into softball and you started cheating in sports. So Madison, you was not bullied in high school because you was so good looking. Okay, so let's just stop it. Take your chicken and go. And all this deflecting, talking about you don't want to be judged by your looks. And this is what didn't nobody ever start talking about your achievements, Madison? And you sleeping with another man. So this whole act, talking about how you don't want to be judged. Well, you should have been judged because you was wrong, Madison. You was wrong. How you gonna sit over here and cry about being judged when you're actually guilty of the very thing that the man is judging you over? Girl, I mean, she gaslit Alan so much that next thing you know, Alan's over here apologizing to her. And she said, well, I got to go out and make a phone call to David. I got to go make a phone call to David. And next thing you know, she done run over there and ran into the arms of David. I know she was at his house. I know Madison went to David's house, and that's where she stayed until 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. The next time we see Madison at the gym, she doing the walk of shame. The walk of shame, because she had a long night over there with David, a long, long night. But as much as Madison is over here trying to gaslight David, as much as we got Madison over here trying to gaslight Alan, we have David over here trying to lie to Michelle and the Pastor Cow. Oh, but ain't nobody buying it. David is the worst liar. Like I said, does David do anything good? He don't work out well. It don't show in his body. He talk about he working 2 jobs, but it don't show in his bank account. He talk about he's sleeping in the basement apartment, but that don't show in his bank account. Oh my God. He talking about he got a nice basement apartment, but it's filled with stuff from a bar. He couldn't help his parents save that bar. It went belly up. Does David do anything well? I sure hope he's doing Madison real well. Maybe that's what David does well, y'all. Maybe David is good in the bedroom, because let me tell you, he definitely ain't good at lying. In fact, I'm offended by David's lies. I'm offended at how horrible they are. I'm really offended at how horrible they are, because like we said, this whole thing around this text, we all pretty much said, well, why couldn't you just say it was for you, Michelle? And sorry, I sent it to you. I was just hoping maybe we could get a spark going. He couldn't even come up with no good lie. David is lazy. He don't even put enough effort into lying. And then he want everybody just to accept it. Just like he want everybody to accept him being in a basement apartment. He just want everybody to accept that side ponytail. He want everybody to accept everything about him. And he don't want to put in no damn effort. Michelle said you don't put no effort into your dressing. You don't put an effort, nothing. And now here he is, didn't put no real effort into this lie. And now he run around trying to have his cousin cover for him. First of all, when Pastor Cal met with him, said, David, tell me this lie one more time. Tell me this bad lie you've been telling one more time. And next thing you know, David starts coming up with other scenarios to cover up the original lie. He starts bringing in all these other women. Oh yeah, I met with this woman and this woman and this woman. And that's really just to kind of throw everybody off the scent of Madison. If I can keep you looking over here and look at this stuff, then maybe you won't really care about what's the real big issue over here, which we know is Madison. And he's so willing to cover up his own lie that, let's say it's true that he really did meet a whole nother woman that he met on Tinder at a coffee shop and had coffee. Well, you just threw that woman under the bus, and you just said that woman was in a relationship. So you basically just blew up her relationship too to save your own ass. David, like I said, is he good at anything? Is he good at anything? So, next thing you know, the two of them are sitting here in front of Pastor Cal talking about this whole infidelity story that we know is a lie. And we get Michelle saying she triggered by all of it. I want to tell you, Michelle is saying this right here, when I talked about last week about the pardon and the get out of jail free card. Michelle has said, I'm about to walk off this show. Y'all was all on me in the beginning of this season. But let me tell you right now, nothing I have done is going to make up for what David has done, all the lies David has done, and all the other people David is throwing under the bus to save himself. At this point in time, David has thrown Alan under the bus. He has now betrayed Michelle too. He has betrayed this other woman that he said he's been talking to that he met at the coffee shop that has another boyfriend. He's betrayed his cousin because he's brought her into the lie. David is horrible, y'all. Absolutely horrible. And Michelle says, Dr. Pastor Cal, we sitting here with you now, but I ain't seen David since the last time I even confronted him on this situation. But, David decides he's going to show up with his side ponytail. And then that's when he proceeds to go on and tell the story one more time that the text was for his cousin. And this is the way he normally talks about food. Well, you know what, David? Maybe that's not a lie. Maybe you do have a relationship with food, because I keep saying that you don't look like you go to the gym every day. But if you are in a relationship with food, the way you talk about food, that you want to just eat it up, I guess maybe you telling the truth. Maybe you so in love with food that after every time you go to the gym, you sit down, snuggle up in the bed with some food. Maybe it's them hot Cheetos. But Michelle is right. Michelle is basically saying, it's interesting that you're so forthcoming with telling all these truths about all these other women. You kind of opened up the floodgates. It makes me think, David, was that just like a consolation to maybe I then wouldn't keep digging deeper to what the real issue is? And What David didn't realize is that, no, we got Sherlock Michelle on our hands. And Sherlock Michelle said, no, 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 no. Now, David, I didn't just want to be out of this relationship. Now, David, I want to be out of this relationship and I want to vindicate myself that you're trash. So I'm not leaving. I know before, David, I was ready to walk out the door that I really didn't want to be in this relationship anymore. But if you gonna make me stay in this relationship, married at first sight, I'm gonna stay in it, all right. But I'm not gonna stay in it and be a wife. I'm gonna stay in and be a Sherlock Holmes, a private investigator. Because Michelle says, I'm gonna get to the bottom of all this. I'm gonna get to the bottom of all of it, not because I give a damn, because Michelle don't give a damn about David. Michelle don't give a damn about Madison either. But what Michelle gives a damn about is her image. And what Michelle knows is that in the beginning of this season, her image took a big hit. And what Michelle said is, I'm not here. I'm not here because I want you, David. I'm here to redeem my image. And what Michelle told David was, don't you want to redeem your image too? Why don't you want to call Denise? Don't you want to have the opportunity to redeem yourself? Because right now, David, you look horrible. Michelle said, I'm here to redeem myself because we both look bad. We are both looking bad right now on this show. And I'm not going to go off looking bad. So I'm going to redeem myself. But do you want to do it too, David? And David said, nope. Because what David knows is there is no redemption in the truth. There is no redemption in the truth. So he going to have to ride this lie until the wheels fall off. Michelle over here lying to Pastor Cal tomorrow. No, no, no. The door's not closed between me and David. Girl, that door was closed, but when Michelle went back dead and she kicked that door open, she goes, oh, I got to come back. Michelle was trying to cut and run, but now Michelle says, nope, I'm coming back because I'm coming back here for redemption. And what she's going to do is, like I said before, she got David in the courtroom and she going to want a whole, like I said, dismissal, a record expunged, pardoned, all that, all of that. And messy Pastor Cal said, yeah, let's go get the receipts. Pastor Cal is messy. Pastor Cal is messy. He said, you know what? Show us the receipts, David. If this was all about a text to your cousin, show us the receipts. And Pastor Cal tells Michelle, well, you can go on over to Denise yourself and get the receipts, Michelle. And Michelle goes, oh, you're right, Pastor Cal. You are right, Pastor Cal. So Michelle goes right on over there, calls Denise and says, Denise, girl, let me tell you what this man's been telling me. And Denise says, all I got was a message from David saying, cover for me. Will you cover for me? Busted. And Denise says, I'm not doing it. Good for you, Denise. Good for you. Because let me tell you, David didn't want no ride or die Puerto Rican woman that's going to ride with him till the wheels fall off and cover for him. Nah, he wanted to go over there and he put you all you Puerto Rican women to the side and said, you too strong. You too strong. I need a blonde hair, blue-eyed woman. But all of a sudden now he want to go over here and ride on your backs and have you save him. Nah, let that dog sit out in the cold. Let that dog sit out in the cold and take his own lickings. When Michelle found out for her own ears from Denise that it was all a big lie, she didn't share not one tear. Michelle was darn near smiling, not one tear. And she says, all this has done is made me have a million questions more. A million questions more. So next week, I guess we're going to go a little further down the trail and we really going to dig into Madison and Allen. And I'm here for it. Me and my chicken are going to be here for it. But that's it, y'all. That's all I got. Don't forget to like my video, y'all. If you had a good time with me today, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to leave a comment down below. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.